Welcome to another episode of Solitaryism, and I'm Robert Bitto, your host. The title of this video is Loneliness is a Social Construct. Now, I've heard things like race is a social construct, which is not true because there are obvious differences in races. I mean, physically you can see differences. So race is not a social construct, but that's not what this video is about. I'm just saying that that's where we hear the term social construct, meaning it's made up by culture. It comes from society's way of thinking. So I dare to say loneliness is a social construct. I've never heard that anywhere before. And, that's one of the reasons why I decided to start this channel, Solitaryism, because there are a lot of ideas that I have kicking around in my head that I don't think have been expressed before, which is kind of strange when you think of the phrase, there's nothing new under the sun. Well, I suppose certain groups of people espouse this sort of way of thinking. You can think of cloistered nuns or monks, more specifically. We get the term in the 21st century monk mode from monks, or people who voluntarily isolate themselves. They're not sucked into the whole idea that loneliness is some sort of default when you're alone. We're told that you need people. We've evolved to need people, and that we live in a society and we've always needed people. That's part of human nature, and I disagree. I think we've been brainwashed to believe that you can't be alone. You can't be happy alone. And that loneliness is gonna come for you. You can't spend too much time alone or else you're gonna get lonely. Well, you know what? I've mentioned this in previous videos. It was 7 years before I had someone come into my home who wasn't a maintenance person. And the person who came into my home after 7 years was a neighbor who was curious about my Native American arts and crafts collection. And that's it. I haven't had anyone over for drinks. I haven't had any parties, nothing in 7 years. And I really do not have any friends except for those friends who have been grandfathered into my life from 20 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever. I haven't made any new friends in probably a decade, and I haven't done anything social in years. And am I crawling up the walls and feeling depressed and on 5 different pharmaceuticals? No. I've said this before. Like a fish in water, I don't even know I'm surrounded by the water. It's an afterthought. I have to sit down and make a video and gather my thoughts together about this because I don't really think about loneliness. And the other people out there who don't think about loneliness and who are never lonely feel no need to make videos. And you don't see them. You don't see them out and about. Or you may see them out and about here and there in the grocery store or whatever, but you're not interacting with them. And they don't feel the need to put this information out there because they're self-contained and they feel happy by themselves. So you're probably not going to hear this philosophy or these thoughts espoused anywhere because it's the assumption of most people that you need people to survive because we're social animals. That's another thing that we hear all the time. In the 21st century, there's no need to be social animals. Like I've said before, you really don't need people anymore except on a transactional basis. We're not on the frontier. We're not in an Amish community. You can stay home and do everything on your phone that you need to do nowadays. Some people may say that's sad, or, that's tragic that you might think that way. But hey, I'm just dealing with the society that I find myself in, the situation that I found myself in, because we're really not in a society. America is a random collection of strangers. There is no social cohesion. That's been eroded, and it's been slowly dwindling for about 35 years now. So you find yourself in this world that you didn't ask to be in. I won't go into any sort of esoteric thoughts or religious ideas of, well, you chose to be here at this time. Well, that may be the case, but you're not aware of it. Consciously, you're here. You did not choose to be born into this situation you find yourself in, where people are cut off from each other, people are not friendly, they're not neighborly, and you have two alternatives here. You either stay home and you're miserable about not having friends or relationships and you feel that sense of loneliness, or you break through the barrier and you realize that loneliness is just a social construct and you'll be fine alone. There are millions of examples out there. But as long as you adhere to the brainwashing that you need other people, that man is a social animal, and all of those other trite little phrases, then you'll be miserable if you don't have people in your life. So you choose. You want to be lonely? You want to be miserable? Fine, go for it. But there's no need to be, because loneliness is a choice. It's not a default. That's about all I wanted to say on this. So thanks once again for watching and listening, and remember to be happy alone.